promised, in the studio with us this morning, we've got one of pro wrestling's legends, Cowboy Johnny Mantell. Welcome to the program.
This is exciting to come to Wichita Falls early in the morning and get everybody on the morning drive and see the sun come up, and that's always a blessing.
Well, we're glad to have you here. Now, the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, it's pwhf.org is the website, but it's coming to Wichita Falls. The announcement was made just a couple of months ago that this was coming here. It's going to be at Big Blue, which is a huge announcement for them. That building's been under renovation. They're trying to get it back in operation, and this, I guess, is the first major tenet of that building is going to be the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame.
We're going to take over the first floor of that building. We're going to bring people to downtown, and we're bringing this home. You know, professional wrestling has such a deep, rich history right here in Wichita Falls, and we're bringing this Hall of Fame and museum home to Wichita Falls. And I think everybody I meet and greet around town is so happy it's coming and so anxious for it to open up.
I have heard more buzz about this than I have most anything in a long time around here. There's a lot of excitement building up around this.
Yeah, it's exciting right now. The Hall of Fame itself, we made the announcement on November 19th. That announcement was made at Big Blue, so we told everybody it was coming to town. We also made the announcement that day of the inductions for this year, which will take place May 20th and 21st. And since that time, it has not stopped. I've just sort of been a little propane tank running around town, keeping this fire going, because right now everybody is so interested, so excited about it coming to town. Who's going to be here, who's not, and those kind of things. And one of the things that the hall does when we open up the museum part of it is we'll bring people in every week or two to the hall so they can be there on Friday and Saturday and meet and greet with the fans and sign autographs. And that list is growing. I'm working on that list as we speak. And we're looking to open sometime the middle to end of February so we can be running and up and running in great shape by the time the inductions happen.
Let's talk a little bit about your career. When did you get started in the business?
Well, I actually started wrestling as an amateur at the age of 10. My brother Kenny turned pro late in his 20s and later become the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion. Took it from Danny Hodge, a Perry, Oklahoman legend. And I was going to college playing football, and I'd played baseball. And he said, I don't know why you're getting your body all banged up. You're not getting paid for it. You might as well get paid for it. So I started training, and at the age of 18, I had my first match in Bakersfield, California at Jules Strongbow Arena, and the career started. Signed a contract in Japan, made 22 trips to Japan to wrestle, and
wow.
I've been so blessed. I've gotten to travel the world on the wrestling dollar, and I've been in the ring with some of the greats, from Pedro Morales to Lou Thez, Gene Kaninsky, Stan Stasiak, all the Von Erich boys. The list just goes on. I've been so blessed in this business.
Yeah, I know the Von Erichs, and when I was growing up, that was, everybody, clamored to watch the Von Erichs wrestle all the time. And they had kind of a tragic story in their lives. Very tragic indeed. But I've heard more people talking about you and talking about the Hall of Fame coming here, and just a lot of excitement. In fact, Henry Florsheim, the president of the Chamber of Commerce here.
Henry the Hammer Florsheim. Let's just fix that in there real quick.
I like that.
Sorry, Henry, I had to say that.
If you can get him in the tights and get him in the ring, I will be there to photograph every second of it. I guarantee it. But, when he knew this was coming, and it was kind of top secret there for a while, this was going to happen. And I had him in for an interview about a totally different subject, and he wanted to tell me. He was about to bust. He wanted to tell me. All he would say is, look, be ready. There's a major announcement coming. And I said, well, just us here off the record. What is it? I can't tell you. He wanted to talk. He couldn't do it, but he was about to bust holding it in. He was really excited about it.
Well, we sort of, I hate to steal a line from Muhammad Ali, but we wanted to shock the world when we made that announcement, and that's exactly what we did. We made the announcement of the move, and of course the inductees for this year all at the same time, and I think we accomplished that.
How did Wichita Falls actually get picked? I mean, how did we come out to be the place to do this?
Well, I guess it's sort of twofold. One, where it's been for the last 16 years up in upstate New York, in Amsterdam, New York in particular, and all the people up there are great. I have no problems with anybody up there, but the city itself is sort of in the decline, and they're losing population. We had sort of restructured the downtown area of Amsterdam by doing all this facade work and fixing up the building and really doing some stuff downtown. We started a street fair that last year they're saying there was 20,000 people at the street fair induction weekend. So we really sort of restructured it, but they kept asking for the building back and wanted this and wanted that, and they weren't helping and reaching out and helping any. So the board of directors advised me to sort of look for a place. Maybe we could put it in the middle of the country where it'd be so much more accessible for all the guys, especially as my generation is aging and getting tougher to travel. That was a tough spot to get into. So I started looking, and I really started this project about 2 years ago. And I visited a lot of cities, but I kept coming back to Wichita Falls. And Wichita Falls wanted it. They wanted to bring something to downtown to help vitalize the downtown area. And they needed something for tourism. You know, I mean, I understand they do the Hotter Than Hell one time a year, and it's for 3 or 4 days, and you bring a lot of people to town, but we're going to be open 6 days a week all year long, and we're going to bring people all year long to the building.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun. The people in Wichita Falls don't know how much fun this is going to be.
When we come back from the break here, I want to talk about what we can expect from the Hall of Fame. And there's going to be, you're going to have an induction ceremony. This is going to be a big party to launch this thing. Cowboy Johnny Mantell here with us, and he's got Tigress Lords with him, a.k.a. Kay Downs. Kay, welcome.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you both here this morning. We've been talking about the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame coming to Wichita Falls. Big news, a big deal, especially for Big Blue, because we're going to put something major in Wichita Falls landmark downtown. And it is absolutely a landmark. Everybody can identify that building, even people who aren't from around here. If you say Big Blue in Wichita Falls, they can put 2 and 2 together. They know what you're talking about. Let's talk a little bit about what people can expect with the Hall of Fame. What's coming? What can we look forward to here? I know we talked before the interview about maybe mid-February is kind of the target date to launch this officially for the public, right?
Yeah, you know, what's going to come to town is this museum that dates back all the way to right after the Civil War. We have artifacts about wrestling taking place in carnivals and circuses with the old tough man kind of stuff to present day. And like I tell a lot of people don't realize professional wrestling, when the TV era came out, there was over 30 territories around the United States. And what I mean by territories, there was 30 promoters around the United States that ran wrestling 7 nights a week. Sometimes they ran it twice on Saturday and twice on Sunday. Right here in the state of Texas alone, we had 4 promoters: the Funks in Amarillo, the Von Erichs in Dallas, the Blanchards in San Antonio, and Paul Bosch in Houston, that ran matches 6 or 7 nights a week. So at any one time, you were seeing wrestling in the state of Texas 28 to 34 or 5 times a week. That's unbelievable if you look back and think about those numbers. And now I know every Monday night, the gentleman that runs now will tell you that they draw this many people and they do more than the NFL and the more. But let me just tell you something. When there was 30 plus territories going on around the country and they were wrestling every night of the week, we were doing more attendance around the country per year than horse racing was, that ran and how many tracks around the country all year long. Professional football, professional baseball, none of them could touch us because they ran during a season. We ran 12 months out of the year. I had 3 years in my career where I wrestled over 360 matches in a year. So I'm just trying to give you the numbers are staggering when you look at it like that. So that kind of history and that kind of legacy is coming to Wichita Falls.
360 matches.
Yes, sir.
In a year.
Yes, sir.
Talk about beating yourself up.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
That's got to be rough on a body doing that.
Well, and you know, I mean, when the Super Bowl came to Dallas, they did a brain study with a lot of the NFL football players. I was the only wrestler in that brain study. And the concussions and the damage to my body through the years are very well noted. All the doctors and everybody knows about all that. But the deal was we were self-contractors.
Right.
So if you didn't go to work the next day, you didn't get paid.
Right.
So if you had a headache or you had a bum ankle or you had something, you strapped that puppy up and maybe took another pain pill and got in the ring and worked. And I'm not advocating that. I'm not telling you that's the way you should be doing it, but I'm just telling you that's the way I had to do it to pay the bills and be able to do what I needed to do.
Right.
So there's a whole generation of my fellow wrestlers right now that are struggling out there in life because of all those issues.
Yeah.
And anytime any of us back in the late 70s, early 80s talked about a union or health care or anything like that, the promoters would say, don't get that guy in your room. Get rid of that guy. They didn't want to hear that anymore because they were they were dealing with self-contractors. They didn't want to hear it. If what's been going on for the last 20 years in professional wrestling was in any other sport, there'd be a congressional hearing to see what's going on in that sport. I'm just telling you that because that's the truth. Let's look back at how many of my peers, the guys I worked with and wrestled, are dead now at an early age. And I agree, some of them were stupid reasons, some of them were dumb reasons, but a lot of them was just because of the life we lived and the traveling we did and how much work we did. Right. And it's a dirty, dirty shame.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about you and your career briefly. What
I started actually very early, earlier than a lot of guys. I started when I was still a senior in high school.
Wow.
And I spent my senior year of high school going to school every day. I would go to school Monday, go to a show Friday night or Monday night in Fort Worth, school Tuesday, Friday, or Tuesday afternoon in Dallas, Wednesday training, Thursday training after school, Friday sportatorium, Saturday spot show, and then Sunday I'd always do 2 shows if I wasn't traveling to Louisiana or something like that. My first major trip was 3 weeks right after my 18th birthday, all by myself to Puerto Rico. Got myself there. The person who was supposed to pick me up didn't pick me up. I didn't speak a licking of Spanish, so I had to get myself to Isla Verde Island where all the wrestlers stayed, and I spent 3 weeks there. And that was probably my first major trip by myself, and it just kind of went on from there. I spent great times with Skandar Akbar, traveling to Louisiana, and being the only girl in the car with 5 guys on those trips was pretty interesting at times. And but I just like John, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Trade it for the world. And I've been in this business, over 20 years now.
Wow.
And I love every aspect of it.
Yeah. We talked a little bit during the break about kind of how years ago wrestling would get involved in community events and fundraisers and things like that. And you've got something here that you guys are involved in. Protea Furs, Kendra Scott, the Containery, along with the Junior League, doing Shop for a Cause. And this is going to happen at Big Blue, and you guys are involved in this. This is going to be next Friday, the 18th, 4 to 8 p.m. Big Blue, of course, at 712 8th Street. How is the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame tied into this?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to set up much like the display that we did on November 19th when we made this announcement. We're going to set up some of the memorabilia that we already have here in the state of Texas so the fans can come in and see what's coming to town. I know locally a lot of people sure enjoy seeing David Von Erich's Yellow Rose of Texas jacket, a pair of Kamala, an outfit from Kamala during his days, and just some great memorabilia that we sent down early for the announcement. We're going to set that back up, and there might even be a visit by a wrestling Santa Claus that night, so you never know what may happen.
That's beautiful. Well, this is going to be a lot of fun. The event coming up, of course, the Shop for a Cause next Friday, 4 to 8. You guys are tied into that. And then the grand opening, the big party, the big opening day of the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame is coming up here right around the corner. So be listening for more details on that. Johnny, we'd love to have you come back sometime. Talk to us some more. KU as well.
Oh, thank you. And everybody needs to go out and visit pwhf.org. That's the website for the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. It has all the information. It has all the updates. We're going to be doing videos and pictures as the memorabilia actually travels from New York here, so it'll be a great time.
Johnny K., thank you for being here. That's all for today. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you Monday.